So now I would like to, when I click into one of these items that has been rented, here on the Tool Details page, I would like to see the information down here about who has that tool actually checked out. And I could even go on to add what date they rented it and different things like that. So that's going to be the first thing I'm going to try to do, is display the person that has the tool rented. So I'm going to get into Visual Web Developer. I'm going to get on the Tool Details page. All right, so after I have viewed all the tools, when I click the select, it takes me back into this page. First thing I need to do here, let's add in a new SQL data source. Number 4. We'll configure the data source. Tool rental, pick my connection string. I'm going to specify a custom SQL statement. I'm going to use Query Builder. And I want to add the rentals table, because this has the detail. If the tool is checked out, then the tool ID will appear in the rentals table. If the tool is not checked out, the tool ID will not appear in the rentals table, so I want to add that. If the tool ID does appear in the rentals table, then I want to get the user ID here, and I want to join it to the user ID and user profile. So I want user ID, first name, last name, city, and postal code. I want to collect this particular information from the user profile table, interjoined on the rental table. So if the tool ID appears in the rental table, then I want to interjoin user ID and collect this information. The last thing I need is the where, tr underscore So I want to do this where the rental ID, tool ID, this one right here, is in the query string. And I will OK this. I want to test the query. Now to test the query, I have to pick a tool that is actually checked out right now. So I've gotten into the database and I looked, and I know that tool ID 5 is currently checked out. And so for tool ID 5, I'm actually getting the user ID, first name, last name, city, and postal code. So it's working like I wanted it to work. Finish that up. I need to get into template editing, edit the templates down here for the form view on Tool Details. I want to choose the item template. Remember, item template is the one that appears when you're just looking at it, when you're not editing, adding new, or anything like that. So I want to choose the item template. Put in a couple returns there, and I'm going to add a grid view. I'm going to tie that grid view up to the data source I just configured, number 4 there. Okay, and I'll save this. So now when I'm viewing this in the browser, let me refresh. I see a tool. If I select a tool that has not been checked out, so it is available, nothing happens. It just shows up as normal. However, when I check a tool, select a tool that has been checked out, oh, it should have returned the details. And it looks like I have some troubleshooting to do. So to fix the problem of it not viewing, I went into Tool Details. I went into the source view. Here is SQL data source number 4, which is the new one I just added, that's got the select statement with the inner join on it to grab that extra information. where trrentals.toolid equals the query string tool ID. So in that data source, my select parameter was not correct. I had to come down and add the ASP query string parameter, give it the name, and specify its type. And once I did that, then my page started working correctly. So if I view all tools, when I look at one that has not been checked out, it's fine. When I look at one that has been checked out, that was damaged, it returns the details of the user that has it checked out. And then this is just another grid view. I can work with these headings. I can order them. I can hide user ID if that's not useful. I can format them with CSS, all of those kinds of things. So now that I can click on a tool and see which user has it checked out, I want to go the other way. Looks like Mike In has something checked out, so I want to be able to view all customers. And now when I click on Mike In, I want to see what tools they have checked out. So to do that, I'm going to need to be into the Customer Details page. In the Customer Details page, I'm going to add a SQL data source. Use Query Builder again. So here I'm going to use the rental table to look up the user ID. And if the user ID has something checked out, then I'm going to get the tool information. And the tool information that I'm worried about, I want to get the tool ID, name, that's all I'm going to get for right now. It's just the ID and the name. I'll get the manufacturer in the description. And I might also want to select the due back date. I want to get all this where based off of the user ID. I think this will correct that problem I had last time. So let me get back into the browser. This one's going to be more difficult to test because that user ID is so long. So let's just save it and try it. I'll get into the item template here. Edit templates, item template, get underneath the tool, a couple of spaces down, stick in a new grid view. SQL data source 3. Save all this up and let's test it in the browser. So if I view all customers, Mike admin shouldn't have anything checked out, but Mike in we know has something checked out. He has two things checked out. Tool ID 3 and Tool ID 10, or Asset ID 3 and Asset ID 10. Here's the details. Here's the date those items are due back. Again, this is simply a grid view that you can modify as you see fit. So the last thing I want to do when we're on this tool details page, So view all tools. When we have one of these, I would like to see a picture of the tool down here. Now in the database, I'm already collecting that information, so all I have to do is just display it and get it displayed here. I'm not actually storing the photo in the database. I'm storing the name of the photo in the database. The actual photos are stored here under Tool Images. Okay, so as part of my material ID, as part of the tool ID, the adding the new tools, the CRUDing the tools, I need to capture the name of the photo of the tool. When I'm CRUDing those, when I'm adding a new or editing, I might also want the ability to upload a file into this Tool Images. Now that's outside of the scope of what we're going to do here, but it certainly is a detail that you would need to take care of. So for this purpose, we're going to assume that the photo is already in Tool Images and you're not going to have to edit it or upload a new. Alright, so let's get back here in Tool Details. That's where we want to be for the photo. I'm going to get down under Item Template. Okay, remember this is the one that displays when we're just looking at it, when we're not editing or adding or anything. Here's the grid view for the customer information of the person that has it rented. I'm going to just go underneath the grid view. I'm going to throw in a couple of breaks just for spacing. And then I'm going to add in the code to display the photo, and I'll walk you step by step through this code. Okay, so here's basically what we're doing. After the grid view, we put in a couple of breaks. Then the first thing I'm going to add is a data list, an ASP data list, right here. I'm going to give it an ID, a unique ID, tool photo data list. Run it server. I have to point it to a SQL data source. I'm pointing it to the data source that's pulling all of the material information. Okay, so whatever I'm using to populate this item template, in my case it's SQL data source 1. If I look up here, I can see that SQL data source 1 is grabbing all the tool information, and the tool photo name is the field I'm worried about. Here in a minute, I'm also going to be worried about tool description. So those are the two fields within the database that I want to get. I need to find the SQL data source that's grabbing them, in my case data source 1. So I'm going to go back down here to my data list, point it to that SQL data source. Alright, as soon as I do the data list, I need to put in the item template. Alright, I close item template and I close ASP data list. In the middle of this item template, I need to put in an ASP image. Right here. The image needs a unique ID. I'm calling it tool image 1. Run at server. Image URL is one of the fields. So I'm going to fill it with a single quote, less than %pound eval. Alright, I'm going to open the quote here. Here's the field that I'm going to grab from the database. Tool photo name, close quote, comma, space, open quote. The tilde, so from the root, get into the tool images folder, and then this is just a wildcard to grab whatever image needs to be displayed. Whatever the image is that's pulled up for this particular photo, grab that. Just put it in there. And then I need to close everything up exactly like this. And finally, I need to close the ASP image control. Alright, when I've done those things and I save this up, if I look at View All Tools, I can grab any tool now, and it should be getting the photo. If the tool has been rented, it should first show me the user information and second show me the photo. You might even want to put this user information at the very top just so it's not missed. That's kind of a big photo, so I want to limit its size a little bit. So I'm going to get back inside this ASP image control. Here's where the tag closes. I'm going to move that down a little bit. I'm going to add a height. And now when I refresh, the photo's a bit smaller. The other two pieces of information that I want to put in there are alternate text and tooltip. Remember, these are going to display text when you hover over the image. The text I want displayed is the tool description. So I'm just telling it to eval that field from the database. So let me save this and let me refresh. There we go. Remember, we have to do both because Firefox, Chrome, and Internet Explorer all have different behaviors with that control. The last thing I want to do, I want to make that image clickable. So if I click on it, it'll show me the image bigger. So I'm going to turn that whole ASP image into a hyperlink. So to do that, I'm just simply using the ahref command. I'm going to just get the tool photo name. All right, it's almost this exact line. I put the target blank in there so it opens in a new page. After the image closes, I'm going to close the hyperlink and save all of this up. Now when I click on this image, it opens much larger in another tab or another page. So there you go, how you can display who has stuff checked out, how you can look at somebody and see what they have checked out, and how you can display a photo.